With Space Marine 2 finally on the horizon, I wanted to make a video talking about why I think this game's multiplayer could be something really special. Well, if there is any multiplayer. So far, there hasn't been any PvP announcement, but this random article I found said maybe. I don't think Bill Cooney would lie. So without further ado, let's all collectively get our hopes up way too high. Starting with... In the multiplayer, there are currently 3 classes: Tactical, Devastator, and Assault. This is enough for the first game, but with Space Marine 2, I have some ideas. Going with the pattern and adding 3 new classes. The first of which being the Apothecary. Oh. They did that one already? In what game? Well, I've never played Eternal Crusade. It was dead by the time I owned a PC able to run it, and from what I hear, the reviews are less than stellar. For those who don't know, the Apothecary's job is to recover the gene seed of the chapter from the Fallen and to tend to their wounded battle brothers. From what I gather from the wiki for Eternal Crusade, how the Apothecary worked was you would hold a button while close to your allies to heal them, as well as having the ability to revive fallen teammates. This is okay for Eternal Crusade, but I think we can mix up this class to fit the gameplay of Space Marine a little bit better. Starting off with the revival function. While healing is fine in my opinion, I don't know if revival would be the best for the gameplay of Space Marine. I thought maybe instead, when a teammate dies, you can stand near them and collect his gene seed, which would raise a counter on your HUD. You could spend these organs, or whatever you've collected, on buffing your teammates, maybe with overheal, a damage buff, or a variety of different things. I think that ties into the lore much better, and fits the gameplay loop of Space Marine better. Plus, I always play healer in games that offer it, and I want to be more than just a heal bitch. But one class I'm sure everyone would be hyped for is the Librarian. Instead of shushing you whenever the floor creaks, the Librarians of the Space Marines document the history of the chapter as well as having a connection to the warp, allowing them to use psychic abilities. Maybe they could have a force shield that they can conjure with a short bar that drains when you use it. All projectiles caught in the shield would be forced outward when the bar empties, sending them back into the enemies. I don't know how that would be balanced, but it's just cool. They could have their choice of sidearm, but their main weapon could be their force stave. With multiple to choose from, come multiple different ways to channel your abilities. Maybe one lets you fire a continuous stream of force lightning, while another casts fireballs, force domes, etc. Also, give them rapid deployment for free because warp shenanigans. Going back to Eternal Crusade, they get another class called Ground Assault. They carry a large shield and sword and have no access to ranged weaponry. They have a high armor stat, and it seems their main purpose is to protect teammates and take the shots while others clean up the enemies, sort of like a tank from an RPG. I actually love this idea and playstyle for Space Marine. But the Ground Assault is kind of boring. If only there was some unit with a big old sword and shield that could replace the Blade Guard. Yeah, Blade Guard can use guns. Just take them away. Alternatively, you could add Chaplains here instead, but they also buff teammates, and that would step on the toes of the Apothecary, so I'm not sure if you'd want to do that. You'd want to be hunkered up by teammates to help protect them while you're capturing points or whatever you may be doing. Plus, the customization of your own Blade Guard veteran would be incredible. Speaking of which... Now, before I get into anything specific, I think something important needs to be said. Games Workshop is kind of a greedy company. I know, big shock. But really, I just hope they don't take advantage of people for the customization in this game. If you're familiar with the hobby, chances are you love to paint and customize your miniatures so that they stand out. They're your minis, you can tell, and so can everyone else. So my biggest hope for Space Marine 2 is that the customization won't be locked behind microtransactions. It would be a tragedy to watch GW throw away such a beautiful opportunity in the trash and become Halo Infinite 2.0. That being said, I do have some hope because of one announcement. They will finally stop making us shill out $80 just to learn how to play, and hopefully this sentiment will continue into Space Marine 2. With that out of the way, let's talk about what I'd actually like to see in the customization, starting with the colors. Why are there no colors? Out of all of these, there's one good purple, one good yellow, and no good orange. Seriously, either you're a neon raver or actual fucking soil. The system needs some work. While some colors like blue and red get a multitude of colors, some like orange get 2, and both are eyesores to say the least. Now you might be thinking, Aaron, they're just colors, calm down. But to that I say nay! Just look at GW's catalog for paints. They clearly understand that color matters, especially in something that's trying to replicate such vast customization of real minis. I have 2 ideas on how they could handle the system. One logical and one actually batshit insane and I think impossible. So let's do that one first, for fun. My idea is that each color will have 3 parts. A base color that you pick, and then depending on that, you're given an options of highlights and shades, but with every single GW paint. This would add even more customization to how your Space Marine looks. You could have a whole team of blue Marines, but never quite see the same blue. Plus, you could get real artsy with it, like adding a purple shade to a red, and getting to pick a pink or orange highlight for it. Just like slapping some paint on some minis. The realistic option is something that's actually already been done by Dawn of War. Just give us a damn color slider. That's it. Easy, it works, no restrictions, it's perfection. Something new I'd want to see added is patterns. Let us put hazard stripes on stuff, checkerboards, whatever. I'm not really sure how they would handle this, as I'm not sure it's a good idea to let everyone put patterns everywhere. Seeing as a Space Marine fully checkered or fully hazard striped would look like kind of a mess. Maybe they could have an option to put patterns wherever they want, but are locked to only 2 positions, like the left shoulder and right leg, for example. Also let us color the patterns for even more customizability. Armor. Where do I start? First of all, Primera's everything. Just give us everything. The Reavers with the cool skull helmets, all of it. As well as giving us scaled-up versions of all the armor we've come to love. But with the obvious of just, give me more, out of the way, let's get specific in what I want to see. Starting with the chapter-specific armor. I think you should have more than 1 slot for veteran armor. And let us customize it without utilizing a glitch. I think that's pretty simple, as well as add a few more chapters that are a bit obscure, or even fan favorites just to mix it up. I love the option to change colors to preset chapters, and I'd love to see some more get love. But class-specific armor is something I can't get my mind off of. Imagine it like the Chaos Raptors get that special helmet, except just make it an option instead of overriding what you already have on. Things like Librarians having different robe options, or even the option to play as a Grey Knight or Thousand Sons Sorcerer. And speaking of that, how about we talk about something I would love to see added? Accessories. Armor accessories for each piece. Things like dictals or choice of chest symbol for breastplate. Wings or symbols on your helmet. Candles or a mini fire pit on top of your backpack. And purity seals as an option for everything. Imagine the possibilities. And one of the biggest changes I'd like to see, let us customize the face of our Space Marine. And let us choose whether to wear a helmet or not. Imagine having a robotic eye or those metal plates embedded into your skin. Not to mention adding headwear that lets us see the face, like the Primaris half-helms and the Black Templar crown things. Imagine what you could create with everything I've just mentioned. And better yet, imagine all of the different Marines you'll be fighting alongside, and the ones you'll purge. Space Marine 2 is a golden opportunity waiting to be fulfilled. Now all we have to do is wait till winter.